Hello and welcome back. So at this point here, I would actually want to show you how we can use the XLOOKUP, how we can actually use XLOOKUP so that we can actually obtain a full record of the sales report. So remember at this point here, when we are actually using the VLOOKUP function, we were actually going step by step. Let's say, for example, we obtain for January, then we go to February, then we go to March, then we go to April, then finally we go to May. But with the help of the XLOOKUP function, we can obtain all that in just one formula. So before we actually continue, I would actually want you to subscribe to my YouTube channel and also follow me on my X account because we are on a journey to build one of the largest Excel platforms. So in this point here, I would actually want us to use the XLOOKUP function so that we can obtain all these sales for the months January, February, March, April, May for the product laptop. So it's actually very possible by use of the XLOOKUP function. So let me actually take you to how we used to be doing it when we are dealing with a VLOOKUP. So it's equivalent to VLOOKUP like that. This is how you are actually doing it. This is actually my lookup value. And the table array, this is actually the table array. And in the table array, make sure that the product is actually on the column number 1 of the table array. Then it will ask you for the column index number, which is actually January on this point. Yes, it's actually on column number 2 of the table array. Then I'm actually obtaining the exact match 0. You close it, enter on the keyboard. That's 600. Then you also go to February. You do the same thing for February. You do the same thing for March. Do the same thing for April. And finally for May. But in this point here, we'll actually be using the XLOOKUP so that you can actually obtain for January, February, March, April, and May in just one formula. So let's actually go XLOOKUP, just like that. You open. This is actually my lookup value, and that lookup value is actually in this lookup array. Lookup array is the array which actually contains the lookup value. In my case, this laptop is actually inside this array from, you can include the header, which is actually the product, all the way to the chair. Add a comma there, the return array. I would actually want to return from January all the way to May. So from January all the way to May. So I12 to M20. Just like that, you close. Then hit enter on the keyboard. Now that's it. Now you can see I have 600, which is actually the 600 there. 900, this is 900. 1200, this is 1200. 1500, this is 1500. 1800, and this is 1800. Now, what if you would actually want to obtain the sales for a different product? Let's say, for example, phone, headphone, watch, lamp, ring light, desk, and chair. What will you actually do? So before we actually check on what we can actually do there, I will come to this point here. So in this case here, I'm actually getting my clients early access into my Google Drive so that they can actually go through all these courses that I have on Microsoft Excel. So I have so many courses bit-sized. So I'll actually get you early access, and I'll actually charge you $100. So with just $100, when the site is actually back, you won't actually lose that accessibility because you have to access it for a lifetime. So you won't actually lose it when the site is actually back. We'll still add you there. So this is actually available to the first 25 clients only. This is actually one of the best deals that you will ever get online. So these courses actually include this. You can actually check that in this point. I have data lookup and reference. This point here, I have core visualization. You can check. I have a lot. You can see they are here. The digital products, the templates, and the ebooks. I will also design for you the templates. So I have different templates here. For example, you need a personal finance and budget tracker. I will also design that for you. So I will design all the templates that you actually want. Yes. And I can also design for you a template and manage it for you, and you will be paying monthly. That's $50 per month. Just $50 a month, you get all the work done. Now, if your project is actually going monthly, like for example, you have a project this month, next month again, the next month again. So if it's actually about monthly subscription, let's say for example, cloud in Excel, dashboards and charts, automation, pivot tables and models, Power BI, financial forecast, templates management, all this for just $550. One of the biggest bargains, right? So $550 only. So you can also get me one-time task, for example, the AI-powered dashboard designs, AI data analysis and insights, AI automation and smart macros, and AI enhanced Power BI reports. So all these have their prices down here: $150, $200, $250, and $300. So clearly, you can actually check that they are very affordable. So one-time task, the monthly subscription, that's $550 a month, and then we also have the templates and the courses at $100. So get me a message on this email here. So this is my email. Send me a message there so that we can actually talk. Now, in this point here, suppose you would actually want to obtain, you already have the record for laptop, right? So you already have the record for laptop. Now, what if you would actually want to obtain the record for the phone? Will you actually type a different XLOOKUP formula? No, you just have to erase that and replace with phone like that. The moment you actually hit enter, there will be changes here. So hit enter, you can actually check there are changes there. So you can also replace with lam like that. Enter, that's it. Desk, enter, that's it. Now, the problem with typing every now and then is that sometimes you actually make a problem. Like, for example, instead of us having chair, you might actually have something like chair, something like that, and hit enter, you'll actually find not NA error. Why NA error? Because there is actually a typing problem there. So there's a typing error, it has to be chair so that it can actually reflect. So to avoid all these errors, we have to use one thing, which is actually the drop down list. So we just create the drop down list so that we will not be typing, but instead we'll be selecting. So let's actually see how we can create a drop down list. So inside the data tab there, we have what you call the data tools. Then we click on that, we select data validation. Then in this point, we actually click on list. Then the source, you select the items which you would actually want to appear on the drop down list, then hit on OK. So that's it. Now you can actually check that I have a drop down list here. So you have to select the cell where you would actually want to have the drop down list first before you actually go into selecting the items and clicking on adding the drop down list. So if you click on a different cell, the drop down list will be added there. But in my case, I had actually clicked on this one here. That's why you are actually getting the drop down list here. So you can just select laptop. Now you can actually check it's working perfectly. Phone, yeah, that's it. We can also go to picking a desk. Yeah, that's cool. Pick a watch. That's cool. So that's it about using the XLOOKUP to obtain a full record when it comes to the sales report. So make sure you actually follow me on my X account. Also subscribe to my YouTube channel. Get me those projects, get me those templates, and also get early access to my premium courses. Let's meet in the next video.